So welcome to using variables in Blueprint. In this video, firstly, not all doors have the same absolute rotation. I've put my doors in a particular way, but your doors might be on different walls, right? Or your door, and it might be opening strange. It might open to 90 degrees at start and then close and do the opposite, whatever. It may not be behaving right. There's a good reason for it. We want to store the door's rotation at begin play, at the start of the game. Then we want to use this value to make a relative rotation. The door opens 90 degrees relative, not to 90 degrees or minus 90 degrees. That was a world space, a global opening angle. We want, wherever the door is, it to open through 90 degrees, not to 90 degrees. And we can use Blueprint variables for this. And by the end of it, we're making doors that can face and work in any direction. So let's dive in and make it happen. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I've got two doors here. I've just kind of casually left them there while I've been playing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually introduce a third door at a different angle. So I'm going to select a door and actually its frame, holding down Shift. So I've used Shift to select the two. I'm going to grab the Alt key, holding down Alt right now. And then I'm just going to pull this door out and then spin it round. I'll place it in a wall a little bit later on. For now, I actually want all three doors just so I can easily test. So here's our third door. Let's see the problem. As I come over, in fact, let me just move this door into the light. See the light, little door, because then I'll better, well, see what's going on. Skibbity-bippity, there it is, over there. Okay, let's just see the problem. The problem is that door immediately opens. Why does that door immediately open? And what happens when I stand on the pressure pad? It closes. It's doing exactly the wrong thing. Now, why is it doing exactly the wrong thing? Do you know? Well, let's take a look at the Blueprint. All the behavior of the doors in the Blueprint now. Remember, we make the decision that we come out of C++ over here in the events and we do everything in Blueprint. Well, the reason is this, isn't it? That the timeline for this open door starts with a rotation of 0. Now, remember, that's an absolute rotation. So if I go back to the Unreal Editor and have a little look at this door, if I hit the rotation key and go to Details, you can see now that the rotation of this door, the door itself, there you go. Let's have a look. What is the rotation of the door? Well, we have minus 90 and 0 is here. So what's happening is it's setting the world space, the absolute rotation, to 0, and then it's closing it back to minus 90. These other guys are already at a rotation of 0. This guy needs to start at minus 90. So we need to capture the initial rotation of the door. That's the point. How are we going to do that? Well, let's go take another little look at the Blueprint, and I'll show you a cool way of doing it. Back to the event graph. So, first thing we need to do is we need to capture the begin play node. Not being, but begin play. So go find your begin play node there. All right, now that's going to be called, obviously, at begin play. It's exactly the same as the begin play method in your code. Now, what I want to do on begin play is I want to get actor rotation. Okay, get actor rotation. So there it is. What actor? Well, ourself. Why is it ourself? Because we're a Blueprint on the door. So it is just the game object is us. Okay. Now you notice there's no incoming execution node. Remember that these white lines tell you about the flow of execution. There's nothing for get actor rotation. And the reason for that is you can get the actor rotation at any time. So it's time independent. But what are we going to do with it? Well, let's drag out of the right-hand side of it. And when you let go, you'll have a context-sensitive list of things you can do. One of those will be promote to variable. So let's do that. Let's promote it to a variable. When you do that, your interface will get instantly cluttered. So I'm going to get rid of the right-hand tab just for simplicity. And you'll see new var0 here. But on the left-hand side under variables and on the details on the right, a couple of different places, you'll see that you can rename this new variable. I'm going to call it initial rotation. Nice and simple. We're nearly there in terms of storing the initial rotation, but of course this set, oh, that was a nasty S, I'm sorry about that, and this set box here, this set node, is not ever being called, it never executes. So we need to, that's where the begin play comes in. We wire the begin play, if I can drag the right thing, into the set node. So are you clear on what this does up here? The things I've highlighted simply set the initial rotation variable, it's a Blueprint variable on this thing, at begin play. Okay, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and move this up. Fine, that's what happens. Now, what we need to do in here somewhere is instead of just making this return value directly setting the rotation of the actor, what we want to be doing is making a relative rotation. So we're going to break this link and we're going to hand over to you. I want you to try and combine the rotations. See if you can finish the Blueprint off and get it working. Look for a way of combining rotators, connect it all, test it, debug it if you necessary. Remember that you can put the blueprint on the right and the game window on the left, and hit Alt-P to get going and see the blueprint in action. It actually draws its execution. And then last thing to say is good luck. Just see if you can get this working. Have a go yourself. Pause the video and I'll see you on the other side. So welcome back. Let's button this up. How would you do it? Well, you could pull out of this pin and you would have here a set of context-sensitive stuff. And you may, if you browse through, find what you're looking for. You could type the word rotator and then look through and see what you get. Combine rotators. That sounds good. Combine two rotations to give you the resulting rotation. Let's try that. So we have combine rotators. Let's just organize the blueprint so we have no crossing paths and so it looks good. So the return value is just going to be piped in here, but what's going to come onto the inside? You might be tempted to try and pull this in, but this would happen at the wrong time. We want to only combine the rotations when this update loop happens. So we want to get initial rotation, okay? So that's get initial rotation. There's the value. We want to pull that at the time we need it asynchronously, and that's the flow we're after. Remember, make sure you keep this update link there. And let me visualize what this is doing. Sorry, excuse me, fiddling with the initial rotation. I don't need to. That's what we're going for. Return value, it combines with the initial rotation and sets the target. Let's put the window on the left-hand side like I talked about. I'm going to get rid of some toolbars. Even over here. Oh, let's go for broke. Let's get rid of them all. Beautiful. And that. All of it. Go away. Okay, now let's play. So what's happening right now? Well, firstly, let's make sure this initial variable gets set. Alt-P. You can see, now this goes for a lot longer. Obviously, begin play, the event lasted a fraction of a second, but it visualizes it, if you watch, on the right-hand side now, for a bit longer. So that's just saying, okay, I've set that value. And now what's happening is we're constantly calling closed door, so we're just keeping those doors closed. But notice how this door here has not opened up to 90 degrees. Watch what happens when we go on the pressure plate now. The door does the right thing. We could change its rotation by changing its timeline, but you see it's doing the right thing. Let's see what Blueprint is doing. We can see what Blueprint's doing. Let's see the whole picture. So we come over here, boom, and it's not actually visualizing the data flow through here, the fact that the open angle is changing. It's just not showing us that. But we can see it's working. So all that remains now is to just, I'm just going to make my level sensible. And in your case, pick yourself maybe a different door location. I'm actually going to just leave my doors, I think, as they are. I'm going to just get rid of this door. But the blueprint for the existing doors has changed, right? If I go to this door, go to the World Outliner, edit the blueprint, you'll see it is still running the new blueprint because there's only one. So what we've done is we've made the way that these doors open more general, and you can put these doors in any orientation now, and they will open in a relative rather than an absolute way. So that's the end of that video. Go ahead, put your doors on any wall now freely without wondering why on earth they open into weird angles, and I'll see you in the next video.